Hello guys, my name is Brian Muchiri and welcome to my channel. Karibu sana if this is your first time being here, and welcome back if you've been here before and you've elected to come back. On my side here is my very good friend Josphat Maina, and today, as you can see, we are not home, we are not anywhere else you recognize. We are somewhere in Nakuru town, and I gave him a call. I asked him, we have been talking about making some content together, and I think I just felt like your story is powerful enough to just sit down and have a conversation about it.
Okay.
Yeah. So introduce yourself.
I'm Josphat Maina. I have motor neuron disease, and I run an organization called Beyond Barriers. I've had this disability for quite some time, and I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
Tuonekane leo kiasi.
Yeah. If you have been an avid watcher of the channel, you might recognize Josphat, because I remember when we went to the event at Nakuru Players Theatre.
Yes.
I was shooting content that time.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, it was Motor Neuron Disease Day.
Yes, June 21st.
And it was also Music Day or something like that.
Celebrating music. Yeah,
celebrating Music Day. So we had a good time. We hung out with Jackie. And with Simon.
Yes.
People on the channel really like Jackie, because we went to Nairobi with her, and she was just a ball of positive energy.
All the time.
Yeah,
Jackie's a vibe.
Yeah, she's such a vibe.
She's also a friend of mine.
Yeah. Here in Nakuru, we have started creating a small circle of people. Of people who have disabilities, and it has become a very good place to find opportunities and even to just connect.
Yes.
Yeah. So Josphat,
yes,
we've known each other for quite some time. I think I was introduced to you by a friend, just like that.
Wamboi.
Yeah, she's Wamboi. Yeah, she just mentioned that.
Funny enough, you always have a different story. In my case, it's Wamboi. Na tulimit Nakuru High 2019. And ilikuwa event it was a meeting school boards of management. So she saw me, akaniambia nianze I know of a guy mwenye naweza kulink na yeye, and then he sent your number direct. And then the communication ikaanzia.
Me, I always have a different story.
You have a different story.
No, that is the story I tell you.
The other day nilisikia kiniambia there's a person aliniona place nikiongea time nilikuwa nafanya speaking. And then akabambika, and then
I think it's the same story, but the way she delivered the story to me, maybe ilikuwa different. But I remember her saying that she saw a very handsome young man on a wheelchair. And the moment she saw you, she thought about me and she connected us. So that was a good way to meet.
And all thanks to Wamboi.
Yeah, thank you, Wamboi. It's always nice to find new friends. And in Kikuyu they say Akorino people recognize each other by their turbans. So we have similar turbans, so of course we recognize each other. So we've known each other for it's been a minute.
5 years now.
Yeah, it has been 5 years since 2019. And a lot has changed for you since then. I think when we met, you were still in school.
Yes. Nilikuwa kule bado.
Yeah, you're still in college in Harvest.
Yes.
What were you doing in college?
I was taking business management, different levels. So nilianzanga na SAT, moving on forward to diploma. So time tulikuwa na meet, I was doing SAT ya blip ya nini. Nilikuja kumaliza in 2022. But in between kumekuwa na mix of school and work, business, a mix of
a lot of, that's why I say you have changed a lot since we met, because I've seen you as a business person. I've seen you found your own organization. I have seen you get in touch with the disability community and really empower people. I've seen you become a motivational speaker. I saw you, even maybe, I don't know, you are almost even a poet now.
No, I don't do. But I can write, baby.
Yeah, you are a writer.
I can write creatively.
But
not long, yes, kama zenye unaandika. Create ka story naweza, but short stories. Then some creative writing kidogo here and there. I wanted to write this post, but I decided to wait until
we have this conversation so that I can tell you about it
Okay.
and the kind of inspiration that you have been for me.
Okay.
If you have realized, every time we meet, I always ask you, how have you gotten here? Have you taken like a matatu?
Public,
you even
private.
you even travel by tuk-tuk? And it's always very, very inspirational for me, because I've always, for a long time, it has always been me. I'm stuck to private means. And a few weeks ago, after we met, I think in the library, I started thinking of me using public means.
Okay.
Yeah, and I wanted to do it in a big way, because I wanted to travel from Nakuru to Nairobi.
Which you did.
And I did. Yeah, if you have not watched the Nairobi series, just go some videos behind and you'll find the series where I went to Nairobi with my girlfriend. So yeah, you were the inspiration behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to try, because I had always seen you doing a lot of things by yourself, independently, and moving around. So like that has always puzzled me. How do you manage to do that?
I guess two things. Number one, of course, the focus of independence all the time, and number two, because things things have to be done. If I need to move from one place to another, of course there'll be challenges, but the bigger picture of everything is me getting to that place. Yeah. So I'm always overshadowed now what I'm going to do somewhere, and not how I'll get it. There.
So the logistics is a small part. The big part is how you are going to get what you're going to do
there. Yeah. Yes. Because there are places naezaenda mbali, long distance, depending na nimeenda kufanya nini. And there are places zenye siwezi enda hata kani the next door, depending with what I'm going to do. So
you just figure it out based on what you want to achieve.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's a good way to look at life.
And again, thanks. And again, hata tukiangalia kwa public, kuna the convenient public transport companies.
Yeah.
Zenye si rough, they'll handle you in the right way. Yeah. Like I saw yours, ulikuwa handled vizuri and all that.
Yeah.
In most cases, pia mimi nikitravel tuseme far distances ama short distances, nakuanga treated both good, and saa zingine wengine wanalenga.
Yeah, it is bound to happen. You will have some positive and some negative interactions. But again, something else that is very inspirational for me when I look at your life is that you are independent. You are an independent person in the way that you live life.
My operations.
Your operations, you live alone. Tell me about that, because that is something that I really want to do. I want to move out, and because if you look at Maina and you look at me, our disabilities are almost the same.
Yes, almost similar.
Yeah, I have a spinal cord injury.
Motor neuron.
Motor neuron. How does it? Motor neuron it's progressive.
Yes, progressive, but depends. Kuna 5 types of motor neuron disease. So kuna yenye ni progressive sana, muscles zina wear out, but like mine, muscles do not wear out at that fast. But of course, what tunakab this with exercises and all that.
Yeah.
Yes. Like you've been doing pia sumoko ukifanyanga majim.
Yeah. Actually, today has been such a long and busy day. I started my day in the gym. And then I did another interview with another content creator, and now we are here creating content. After this, I have another meeting. So a lot of things happening at the same time. So we were talking about independence. Right now, as you sit here, I have asked you this question before. On the scale of 1 to 10, how independent are you on a daily basis?
I'd say 8. Around 8, yes. The two yenye natoa ni things like kufua ni challenge, and things like basically kufua ndo inakuanga challenge.
So washing clothes, yeah.
Yes, washing clothes, and a few things here and there, like kuna foods, yes, but there are types of foods that I can't cook.
So you cook. There are things you cook.
Yeah, there are things like.
What is your favorite thing to cook?
Beef.
No, Maina. Beef and I'm such a big fan of omena. And my girlfriend, unfortunately, she doesn't like even the sight or the smell of it. So I have a big problem there. So like
kind of us sharing types of disabilities, our physical features, the omena story is the same.
Even for you, your person.
I love omena all the time. Lakini kuna mtu apendi omena.
Yeah, you know, I found you here with a very beautiful lady, and it's always like a big, it's always awesome to see you venturing out even in terms of relationships and romantic friendships like that.
Yes.
So, yeah, we were talking about you being able to do things for yourself. So you can cook a beef stew. Even with rice. Hebu kwanza show us your hands. Hey, these hands can cook beef.
Funny enough, I cooked my first meal this year. Around January.
Okay.
This year, the start of this year. And from then, I used to go to the local hotels, the vibandaskis. But since I started cooking, it's very hard for me to go and take food to the hotels. So majorly I cook, and so I'm developing this niche of understanding that these are the types of food that I can cook, and these ones I cannot. So like ugali I cannot, but things like rice, viazi, beef, the omenas, and all that, those I can cook very
and well. How long will it take you to cook?
Depends.
Like for instance, a normal person would cook beef in like 30 to 40 minutes. How long does it take you?
Starting, it was taking a very long time. But now I realized my issue was moving different places, taking maybe water, taking salt from a different position. So my movement was too much.
Oh yeah, the movement.
Yes.
Yeah.
So before I cook, I always ensure that everything is ready.
So you plan yourself.
Yes.
I would tell people how important it is for people like us to plan. When you are doing anything, even when you are planning for this today, I'm sure there was a lot of planning that involved.
All the time. So planning, number one, without ignoring that tunatumia the private means of transport. So number one, in most cases I always identify where I'm going. So I plan on how I'll get there. So in most cases, I know I'll use public or private transport. Planning my day again depends with, funny enough, what people normally ask, ni mambo hata ya charge the wheelchair. It's a thing that if your chair is not charged in the morning, you might not accomplish as many things.
You won't do it independently.
Yes. So my planning starts from ensuring that my chair is fully charged, and now I have errands maybe in different places in town. So always ensure that I get to all those places. Of course, with a schedule from this point to another.
And for us, we always know what we are going, how, even visualize it in your mind.
Yes.
What you are going to do from there. How are you going to get from the car to the wheelchair? And
planning actually involves asking people that are in different places. Let's say it's a place that I'll go next. Probably you've asked a person mwenye ako hapo how the place is.
If it's accessible.
Yes, and all that.
So the next time you want to invite us somewhere, also if we happen to ask you guys a lot of questions, understand that we need to make sure everything is in order before we get there. And where we are right now, it's not like 100% accessible, but it's better than most
other places.
And I wanted to come to this place because I know it's a smaller place, and they have these like small sheds that you can have to yourself. Kama tungeenda place kama Java, if we went to Java, or we went to Jimmy's,
kungekuwa na so much noise.
There'd be a lot of commotion.
Exactly.
So you finished school?
Yes, I finished.
And now you have ventured out into becoming a disability advocate with Beyond Barriers. And you have been doing that for quite some time. So where did you get that inspiration to get into advocacy?
Of course, number one is changing the situation that we people with disabilities face, or the challenges that we face. It's solution oriented. So the first reason, the very main reason why Beyond Barriers exists is to look for solutions in terms of creating disability awareness, empowering people with disabilities, and ensuring that we have implementation of policies as much as we make them. So much of the focus for Beyond Barriers is solution oriented for the challenges that we, the disability community, go through.
Yeah, I noticed something, a strength that you have that I don't think I do, is being able to have a big network and to maintain that network. You're very keen on collecting data and having information within the reach of your hand. So like, how did you, because wanting to do something is one thing, having that desire to do something, but going through the ins and outs of running an organization, did you always have that know-how?
Not really.
Or it's something you had to train yourself?
Yes, you learn as you process things. Because as much as I'm meeting new people every now and then, I'm meeting experts in the field. So I'm learning from them also every now and then.
Yeah. And what kind of successes have you found so far?
So far, I'd say, of course, establishing the organization is a very big success.
Yeah, that's
very
a big milestone.
Yes. So I always put that as the biggest success that I have at the moment.
Yeah.
Of course, moving forward, kuna other successes coming, but currently that's my biggest success, because I always look at it in two different ways. The impact that this organization is causing within the very short time that the organization has existed.
Yeah.
So moving forward, I believe there's so many opportunities, so many chances to make lives better and improve.
Yeah.
So bigger and bigger things are coming.
Besides you running your organization, like what else do you do to sustain yourself?
Currently, I'm purely in the organization, but I also serve as the disability consultant for Nakuru Townist constituency.
Oh.
So I mix both.
Townist, who is the MP for?
David Gekaria.
Gekaria, okay. Okay. So, like I said, a lot has happened in your life.
Yes.
If you are okay talking about this, you even lost your mom during that time. And for someone who has a disability, such a loss is it's close to home. How was that experience for you?
Of course, losing a mother, there's no pain that you can compare with such pain. And divinely, there are things that there are people who came after the loss that came to serve a purpose, ni kama feel the space that I'm at the grief that I was going through at that time.
Yeah.
So at that time I had so many people wenye tuko very close, wenye walikuwa wana clear my mind from always thinking about the loss of my mom.
Yeah.
So I met so many people, including people in business that we developed so much relationships and all that. So people at that time became very present and walinisaidia sana curb that challenge. But I'd say it's a loss. It's the hardest loss that I've had at the moment.
Yeah. And I apologize for bringing that up because
no pressure,
I know it's a very painful thing. I wouldn't know because I haven't gone through that. But I even thinking about it, I just dread it, you know. So like you've experienced this very serious loss, and at that time is when you are doing business in Nakuru.
Yes, in town.
Yeah, tell them the kind of business you are doing and why you had to stop.
And in fact, I learned business from my mom. The first ever business that I did was we were selling groceries. So she had a grocery shop where she used to divide the stock into two. So one, she remains with it in the shop to sell, and then the other one she used to give me, and we used to have a shop with a good friend of mine. So the first business I started was the grocery shop through the help of my mom. Second business I did was the clothing business, the mtumba business.
Yeah.
And glad enough, I also received support from Strong Spine.
Yeah.
Through a well-wisher and all that.
Yeah.
So I ventured into mitumba business, which I did for quite some time. And then later on I left. When I left and moved now to Nakuru Townist constituency office, now to major on offering the disability services. Yeah. So living there ndio nikaacha sasa nika it's like a transition now. Not that I've left the office, but it's serving, Beyond Barriers came to serve a larger community at this time. So kumekuwa na that ka progress from kitambo to now.
That's what I appreciate about you, is that you are always trying new things, and I'm sure you won't stop now. Always trying to figure out better ways to improve your life.
Yes,
and being your friend, I always enjoy seeing that. There's something you once spoke about, and I've always wanted for us to have this conversation. When we were speaking somewhere, and you talked about the disabled, how disabled people sometimes use drugs and alcohol to deal with their issues, to deal with their challenges. I know you have had your own share.
Yes.
And if you don't mind, I would want to know, because I have had moments in my life where I went through a very low moment, and though I wasn't using alcohol to find solutions, but I felt like I was powerless. Like, what were you going through at that time that you felt like maybe the only thing was to have a drink and abuse your substance in that way?
Number one, it's the loss of my mom. Funny enough, many people have never understood or known this, but the loss of my mom really hit me hard, as much as there were people around, but I was looking for an escape route. So I engaged, not that much, but ile kidogo kidogo. And then how it all started is in college. And I always say, let's say I'm trying as much as I want to be independent. And then I go to college, where I meet every person who wants to help. And by bad luck, or by good chance, or by bad luck, the people that I meet inakuwa ni bad company.
Yeah.
So they become my caregivers at that time. But again, the things they do, I'm forced to do them. Yeah. Because much of the time I'm spending with them.
Birds of a feather.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
So how it all started, me through school, the guys that I had around, walikuwa that caliber and all that. But sasa it generated kidogo kidogo, but I'm able to manage. I've been able to manage it. Haijanielemea that much, sijakuwa too much.
Yeah, because you know there's a stigma connected to when a disabled person also has like issues that and maybe let's say drinking issues. There's always that stigma. People say uko na mashida mingi na unataka kujiongezea zingine. Yeah, you know.
It's never that serious.
It's never that serious. So yeah, it's important to know that if you are a disabled person out there and you are going through a tough time in your life and you are feeling like maybe the only way through it is through a drink, know that you are not alone, but again also know that there is never a solution in that.
Of course, there's never a solution.
There's never a solution in that, and the best thing for you would be to find healthier ways to cope.
And learning. In fact, the healthier ways that I've managed to learn up to now is actually seeking therapy.
Seeking therapy, okay.
But not at the professional one and a therapist. I have friends who are psychologists. So I've been able to open up so many things to them, and I've been able to get so much solution.
Yeah.
So if you open up, I'm always easy to open up, and I'm always easy to listen.
Yeah.
So I listen more, and I also share more.
Right now, how would you gauge your mental health and your mental peace?
Since I'm self-aware, I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad. So let's say rate it out of 10. I'd give it a 7 or an 8.
Yeah.
Because the normal challenges that you face every day.
Yeah.
So you can never be 100% peaceful.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's an honest answer. It is good to not want to appear that you have everything figured out. Yeah, the last question that I wanted to ask, because I don't know if you guys can hear, but it's raining. It has started raining where we are, but the good thing is that we have like a small tent around us. And yeah, we have a very helpful, beautiful lady who is helping us behind the camera. So thank you so much. So let us talk about dating and being in relationships. You are still a young man, not even in your 30s.
Yes.
You of course you must have that desire to to want to have a companion. How has the experience been for you?
Rough and smooth in a way. Rough, whereby moving from one, breaking up from one relationship, moving on to the next one is the hardest part. But again, whenever you bump yourself into a relationship, so I always want to make sure that it's all good and things are working.
Yeah.
So I always want to understand my responsibility as the guy at that time, and of course I take the responsibility. So the rough part has been the transition. Before you tune a lady, she comes and understands you, understands your differences, and all that. Kuna kuwa na that very rough part. But again, kuna the smooth part here. As much as I have a condition, there are flowers I enjoy. I meet people around, and people, as much as I want people, people always want me.
You know, that is a question I wanted to ask. I mentioned that before I came here, I was doing an interview with someone, and they were interviewing me, and they said, you know, it is hard for disabled people to find people who like them. And I told him, it's actually the opposite.
It's the opposite.
When you package yourself in a certain way, and you exude some confidence in yourself, and you dress nicely, and you're well-spoken, you'll
win.
Yeah, you'll tend to have a lot of attention towards you. Would you agree with that statement?
100%. 100%. That's why I always advise, or I always guide on personal development for people with disabilities, because we can count the number of people with disabilities who are personally developed. Or they are more self-aware, they understand the environment, they understand themselves and all that. So that's what puts people kwa your light here. I can attract a person. First of all, amejipackage, like you're saying. So before I look for a person, how have I positioned myself at that time? So pia your packaging and positioning kukaa vizuri ina bring so many things.
It will definitely bring some more eyes to you, even though it's not always good attention.
But it's inakuanga kama seasonal.
Seasonal.
Where you'll find people wanting to be with you at a certain period, and then time ingine they are deserted.
No one wants to even look at your general direction.
And this maybe applies for every man.
It applies for every man, even women, even the most beautiful women. I'm sure there's times that you want to get that attention, but you can't. I said that was the last question, but this is the really last question. You have mentioned self-awareness a few times during our conversation. Why is it so important for you to be self-aware?
Number one,
especially as a disabled man.
Self-awareness, of course, is important to me because I want to know how I react to certain situations. Because there's a very notable growth in my life where kitambo I used to react so hard on things. Kitambo I used to not to understand other people's situations. But nowadays, I believe it's the self-awareness part that I have, that I'm able to understand that these are the desires that I have, these are the goals that I have, and these are the people that I need to work with. And then understanding myself means that I'll understand the next person. So that's what, in fact, motivates my independence. Because as much as I want to get help from someone, also I need to be fair to this person and understand even he or she has things to do. So self-awareness means idea to understand myself and to understand those that are around me.
People say that too much awareness is to the detriment of the person. Like understanding yourself too much. Kujijua sana.
It's kind of poisonous.
Would you agree?
In a way. Because it brings so much intelligence, whereby after having some small talks, you want to dig deep into every single thing. Exactly. And again, you always think but this might be right or wrong. You might always think that other people are doing things that you're not liking. You're compatible in any way. But life is fair. Everyone likes what they like, and everyone wants to do what they want to do.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to end it.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your insights
Anytime.
and for your time and for your wisdom. I'm sure a lot of people are going to enjoy and to really connect with your story.
Yes.
And furthermore, your thoughts and feelings about different things.
Yes.
Any last words? Any parting shot?
I'd say, and these are the words of Jackie, being open-minded. So I always guide everyone that is non-disabled to be open-minded and understand that there are desires that I have, like I mentioned. There are things I want to do. There are things I'll avoid to do. Not necessarily because I have a disability, but because that's life to me.
Yeah.
So open-mindedness to the non-disabled really goes a very long way to helping us living our lives much easier and much better.
I agree.
Yes.
And I don't have anything more to add. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the support so far. Make sure you follow Josphat. I'm going to link his Facebook
Yes.
and email.
No pressure. Yes.
I'm going to link his Facebook and his email on the description or the pinned comment. And if you want to connect with him or to collaborate with him in any way, reach out to him, and I'm sure you're going to have a fruitful conversation.
Yes,
but for now, it's goodbye and see you on the next one.
Thank you.